Jump to content. Main menu. Main menu. Move to sidebar hide. Navigation. Main page. Contents. Current events. Random article. About Wikipedia. Contact us. Contribute. Help. Learn to edit. Community portal. Recent changes. Upload file. Search. Search. Appearance. Donate. Create account. Login. Personal tools. Donate. Create account. Login. Pages for logged out editors. Learn more. Contributions. Talk. Contents. Move to sidebar hide. Top. 1 Historical foundation. Toggle historical foundation subsection. 1.1 Victorian stream. 1.2 German stream. 1.3 20th century. 2 Definition of measurement in the social sciences. 3 Instruments and procedures. 4 Theoretical approaches. Toggle theoretical approaches subsection. 4.1 Key concepts. 5 Standards of quality. Toggle standards of quality subsection. 5.1 Testing standards. 5.2 Evaluation standards. 6 Controversy and criticism. 7 Non-human, animals and machines. 8 See also. 9 References. Toggle references subsection. 9.1 Bibliography. 10 Further reading. 11 External links. Toggle the table of contents. Psychometrics. 42 languages. Català. Etina. Cymraeg. Dansk. Deutsch. Eesti. Espanol. Esperanto. Euskara. Francais. Gaelge. Hrvatski. Bahasa Indonesia. Italiano. Jawa. Magyar. Bahasa Malay. Netherlands. Norsk bokmål. Uzbeka / Polski. Portuguese. Rom. Shqip. Simple English. Slovenina. Slovenina. / Srpski. Suomi. Svenska. Turks. Edit links. Article. Talk. English. Read. Edit. View history. Tools. Tools. Move to sidebar hide. Actions. Read. Edit. View history. General. What links here? Related changes. Upload file. Special pages. Permanent link. Page information. Cite this page. Get shortened URL. Download QR code. Print / export. Download as PDF. Printable version. In other projects. Wikimedia Commons. Wikiversity. Wikidata item. Appearance. Move to sidebar hide. From Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. Theory and technique of psychological measurement. Not to be confused with psychometrics, the measurement of the heat and water vapor properties of air. For other uses of this term and similar terms, see psychometry, disambiguation. This article is about the theory and technique of measurement of psychological attributes. For research design and methodology in psychology, see psychological statistics. For the mathematical modeling of psychological theories and phenomena, see mathematical psychology. Part of a series on psychology. Outline. History. Subfields. Basic psychology. Abnormal. Affective neuroscience. Affective science. Behavioral genetics. Behavioral neuroscience. Behaviorism. Cognitive/cognitivism. Cognitive neuroscience. Social. Comparative. Cross-cultural. Cultural. Developmental. Differential. Ecological. Evolutionary. Experimental. Gestalt. Intelligence. Mathematical. Moral. Neuropsychology. Perception. Personality. Psycholinguistics. Psychophysiology. Quantitative. Social. Theoretical. Applied psychology. Anomalistic. Applied behavior analysis. Assessment. Clinical. Coaching. Community. Consumer. Counseling. Critical. Educational. Ergonomics. Feminist. Forensic. Health. Humanistic. Industrial and organizational. Legal. Media. Medical. Military. Music. Occupational health. Pastoral. Political. Positive. Psychometrics. Psychotherapy. Religion. School. Sport and exercise. Suicidology. Systems. Traffic. Concepts. Behavior. Behavioral engineering. Behavioral genetics. Behavioral neuroscience. Cognition. Competence. Consciousness. Consumer behavior. Emotions. Feelings. Human factors and ergonomics. Intelligence. Mind. Psychology of religion. Psychometrics. Terror management theory. Lists. Counseling topics. Disciplines. Organizations. Outline. Psychologists. Psychotherapies. Research methods. Schools of thought. Timeline. Topics. Psychology portal. V. T. E. Psychometrics is a field of study within psychology concerned with the theory and technique of measurement. Psychometrics generally covers specialized fields within psychology and education devoted to testing, measurement, assessment, and related activities. 1. Psychometrics is concerned with the objective measurement of latent constructs that cannot be directly observed. Examples of latent constructs include intelligence, introversion, mental disorders, and educational achievement. 2. The levels of individuals on non-observable latent variables are inferred through mathematical modeling based on what is observed from individuals' responses to items on tests and scales. 2. Practitioners are described as psychometricians, although not all who engage in psychometric research go by this title. Psychometricians usually possess specific qualifications, such as degrees or certifications, and most are psychologists with advanced graduate training in psychometrics and measurement theory. In addition to traditional academic institutions, practitioners also work for organizations such as the Educational Testing Service and Psychological Corporation. Some psychometric researchers focus on the construction and validation of assessment instruments, including surveys, scales, and open or close-ended questionnaires. Others focus on research relating to measurement theory, for example, item response theory, intra-class correlation, or specialize as learning and development professionals. Historical foundation. Edit. Psychological testing has come from two streams of thought, the first, from Darwin, Galton, and Cattell, on the measurement of individual differences, and the second, from Herbart, Weber, Fechner, and Wundt and their psychophysical measurements of a similar construct. The second set of individuals and their research is what has led to the development of experimental psychology and standardized testing. 3. Victorian stream. Edit. Charles Darwin was the inspiration behind Francis Galton, a scientist who advanced the development of psychometrics. In 1859, Darwin published his book on the origin of species. Darwin described the role of natural selection in the emergence, over time, of different populations of species of plants and animals. The book showed how individual members of a species differ among themselves and how they possess characteristics that are more or less adaptive to their environment. Those with more adaptive characteristics are more likely to survive to procreate and give rise to another generation. Those with less adaptive characteristics are less likely. These ideas stimulated Galton's interest in the study of human beings and how they differ one from another and how to measure those differences. Galton wrote a book entitled Hereditary Genius, which was first published in 1869. The book described different characteristics that people possess and how those characteristics make some more fit than others. Today these differences, such as sensory and motor functioning, reaction time, visual acuity, and physical strength, are important domains of scientific psychology. Much of the early theoretical and applied work in psychometrics was undertaken in an attempt to measure intelligence. Galton, often referred to as the father of psychometrics, devised and included mental tests among his anthropometric measures. James McKean Cattell, a pioneer in the field of psychometrics, went on to extend Galton's work. Cattell coined the term mental test, and is responsible for research and knowledge that ultimately led to the development of modern tests. 4. German stream. Edit. The origin of psychometrics also has connections to the related field of psychophysics. Around the same time that Darwin, Galton, and Cattell were making their discoveries, Herbart was also interested in unlocking the mysteries of human consciousness through the scientific method. 4. Herbart was responsible for creating mathematical models of the mind, which were influential in educational practices for years to come. E.H. Weber built upon Herbart's work and tried to prove the existence of a psychological threshold, saying that a minimum stimulus was necessary to activate a sensory system. After Weber, G.T. Fechner expanded upon the knowledge he gleaned from Herbart and Weber, to devise the law that the strength of a sensation grows as the logarithm of the stimulus intensity. A follower of Weber and Fechner, Wilhelm Wundt is credited with founding the science of psychology. It is Wundt's influence that paved the way for others to develop psychological testing. 4. 20th century. Edit. In 1936, the psychometrician L. L. Thurstone, founder and first president of the Psychometric Society, developed and applied a theoretical approach to measurement referred to as the law of comparative judgment, an approach that has close connections to the psychophysical theory of Ernst Heinrich Weber and Gustav Fechner. In addition, Spearman and Thurstone both made important contributions to the theory and application of factor analysis, a statistical method developed and used extensively in psychometrics. 5. In the late 1950s, Leopold Sondy made a historical and epistemological assessment of the impact of statistical thinking on psychology during previous few decades. In the last decades, the specifically psychological thinking has been almost completely suppressed and removed, and replaced by a statistical thinking. Precisely here we see the cancer of testology and testomania of today. 6. More recently, psychometric theory has been applied in the measurement of personality, attitudes, and beliefs, and academic achievement. These latent constructs cannot truly be measured, and much of the research and science in this discipline has been developed in an attempt to measure these constructs as close to the true score as possible. Figures who made significant contributions to psychometrics include Carl Pearson, Henry F. Kaiser, Carl Bryham, L. L. Thurstone, E. L. Thorndike, George Rask, Eugene Galanter, Johnson O'Connor, Frederick M. Lord, Ledyard R. Tucker, Louis Gutman, and Jane Lovinger. Definition of measurement in the social sciences. Edit. The definition of measurement in the social sciences has a long history. A current widespread definition, proposed by Stanley Smith Stevens, is that measurement is the assignment of numerals to objects or events according to some rule. This definition was introduced in a 1946 Science article in which Stevens proposed 4 levels of measurement. 7. Although widely adopted, this definition differs in important respects from the more classical definition of measurement adopted in the physical sciences, namely that scientific measurement entails the estimation or discovery of the ratio of some magnitude of a quantitative attribute to a unit of the same attribute. P. 358, 8. Indeed, Stevens's definition of measurement was put forward in response to the British Ferguson Committee, whose chair, a Ferguson, was a physicist. The committee was appointed in 1932 by the British Association for the Advancement of Science to investigate the possibility of quantitatively estimating sensory events. Although its chair and other members were physicists, the committee also included several psychologists. The committee's report highlighted the importance of the definition of measurement. While Stevens's response was to propose a new definition, which has had considerable influence in the field, this was by no means the only response to the report. Another, notably different, response was to accept the classical definition, as reflected in the following statement. Measurement in psychology and physics are in no sense different. Physicists can measure when they can find the operations by which they may meet the necessary criteria, psychologists have to do the same. They need not worry about the mysterious differences between the meaning of measurement in the two sciences. Rees, 1943, p. 49. 9. These divergent responses are reflected in alternative approaches to measurement. For example, methods based on covariance matrices are typically employed on the premise that numbers, such as raw scores derived from assessments, are measurements. Such approaches implicitly entail Stevens's definition of measurement, which requires only that numbers are assigned according to some rule. The main research task, then, is generally considered to be the discovery of associations between scores, and of factors posited to underlie such associations. 10. On the other hand, when measurement models such as the Rask model are employed, numbers are not assigned based on a rule. Instead, in keeping with Rees's statement above, specific criteria for measurement are stated, and the goal is to construct procedures or operations that provide data that meet the relevant criteria. Measurements are estimated based on the models, and tests are conducted to ascertain whether the relevant criteria have been met. Citation needed. Instruments and procedures. Edit. The first psychometric instruments were designed to measure intelligence. 11. One early approach to measuring intelligence was the test developed in France by Alfred Binet and Theodore Simon. That test was known as the test Binet-Simon, Fr. The French test was adapted for use in the US by Louis Terman of Stanford University, and named the Stanford Binet IQ test. Another major focus in psychometrics has been on personality testing. There has been a range of theoretical approaches to conceptualizing and measuring personality, though there is no widely agreed upon theory. Some of the better-known instruments include the Minnesota Multiphasic Personality Inventory, the Five-Factor Model, or Big Five, and tools such as Personality and Preference Inventory and the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator. Attitudes have also been studied extensively using psychometric approaches. Citation needed, 12. An alternative method involves the application of unfolding measurement models, the most general being the hyperbolic cosine model, Andrica and Luo, 1993. 13. Theoretical approaches. Edit. Psychometricians have developed a number of different measurement theories. These include classical test theory, CTT, and item response theory, IRT. 14. 15. An approach that seems mathematically to be similar to IRT but also quite distinctive, in terms of its origins and features, is represented by the Rask model for measurement. The development of the Rask model, and the broader class of models to which it belongs, was explicitly founded on requirements of measurement in the physical sciences. 16. Psychometricians have also developed methods for working with large matrices of correlations and covariances. Techniques in this general tradition include factor analysis, 17, a method of determining the underlying dimensions of data. One of the main challenges faced by users of factor analysis is a lack of consensus on appropriate procedures for determining the number of latent factors. 18. A usual procedure is to stop factoring when eigenvalues drop below 1 because the original sphere shrinks. The lack of the cutting points concerns other multivariate methods, also. 19. Multidimensional scaling, 20, is a method for finding a simple representation for data with a large number of latent dimensions. Cluster analysis is an approach to finding objects that are like each other. Factor analysis, multidimensional scaling, and cluster analysis are all multivariate descriptive methods used to distill from large amounts of data simpler structures. More recently, structural equation modeling, 21, and path analysis represent more sophisticated approaches to working with large covariance matrices. These methods allow statistically sophisticated models to be fitted to data and tested to determine if they are adequate fits. Because at a granular level psychometric research is concerned with the extent and nature of multidimensionality in each of the items of interest, a relatively new procedure known as bifactor analysis, 22, 23, 24, can be helpful. Bifactor analysis can decompose an item's systematic variance in terms of, ideally, two sources, a general factor and one source of additional systematic variance. 25. Key concepts. Edit. Key concepts in classical test theory are reliability and validity. A reliable measure is one that measures a construct consistently across time, individuals, and situations. A valid measure is one that measures what it is intended to measure. Reliability is necessary, but not sufficient, for validity. Both reliability and validity can be assessed statistically. Consistency over repeated measures of the same test can be assessed with the Pearson correlation coefficient, and is often called test-retest reliability. 26. Similarly, the equivalence of different versions of the same measure can be indexed by a Pearson correlation, and is called equivalent forms reliability or a similar term. 26. Internal consistency, which addresses the homogeneity of a single test form, may be assessed by correlating performance on two halves of a test, which is termed split-half reliability, the value of this Pearson product moment correlation coefficient for 2 half tests is adjusted with the Spearman-Brown prediction formula to correspond to the correlation between 2 full-length tests. 26. Perhaps the most commonly used index of reliability is Cronbach's alpha, which is equivalent to the mean of all possible split half coefficients. Other approaches include the intra-class correlation, which is the ratio of variance of measurements of a given target to the variance of all targets. There are a number of different forms of validity. Criterion-related validity refers to the extent to which a test or scale predicts a sample of behavior, i.e., the criterion, that is external to the measuring instrument itself. 27. That external sample of behavior can be many things including another test, college grade point average as when the high school SAT is used to predict performance in college, and even behavior that occurred in the past, for example, when a test of current psychological symptoms is used to predict the occurrence of past victimization, which would accurately represent post-diction. When the criterion measure is collected at the same time as the measure being validated, the goal is to establish concurrent validity. When the criterion is collected later, the goal is to establish predictive validity. A measure has construct validity if it is related to measures of other constructs as required by theory. Content validity is a demonstration that the items of a test do an adequate job of covering the domain being measured. In a personnel selection example, test content is based on a defined statement or set of statements of knowledge, skill, ability, or other characteristics obtained from a job analysis. Item response theory models the relationship between latent traits and responses to test items. Among other advantages, IRT provides a basis for obtaining an estimate of the location of a test taker on a given latent trait as well as the standard error of measurement of that location. For example, a university student's knowledge of history can be deduced from his or her score on a university test and then be compared reliably with a high school student's knowledge deduced from a less difficult test. Scores derived by classical test theory do not have this characteristic, and assessment of actual ability, rather than ability relative to other test takers, must be assessed by comparing scores to those of a norm group randomly selected from the population. In fact, all measures derived from classical test theory are dependent on the sample tested, while, in principle, those derived from item response theory are not. Standards of quality. Edit. The considerations of validity and reliability typically are viewed as essential elements for determining the quality of any test. However, professional and practitioner associations frequently have placed these concerns within broader contexts when developing standards and making overall judgments about the quality of any test as a whole within a given context. A consideration of concern in many applied research settings is whether or not the metric of a given psychological inventory is meaningful or arbitrary. 28. Testing standards. Edit. In 2014, the American Educational Research Association, AERA, American Psychological Association, APA, and National Council on Measurement in Education, NCME, published a revision of the Standards for Educational and Psychological Testing, 29, which describes standards for test development, evaluation, and use. The standards cover essential topics in testing including validity, reliability /errors of measurement, and fairness in testing. The book also establishes standards related to testing operations including test design and development, scores, scales, norms, score linking, cut scores, test administration, scoring, reporting, score interpretation, test documentation, and rights and responsibilities of test takers and test users. Finally, the standards cover topics related to testing applications, including psychological testing and assessment, workplace testing and credentialing, educational testing and assessment, and testing in program evaluation and public policy. Evaluation standards. Edit. In the field of evaluation, and in particular educational evaluation, the Joint Committee on Standards for Educational Evaluation, 30, has published 3 sets of standards for evaluations. The Personnel Evaluation Standards, 31, was published in 1988, the Program Evaluation Standards, 2nd edition, 32, was published in 1994, and the Student Evaluation Standards, 33, was published in 2003. Each publication presents and elaborates a set of standards for use in a variety of educational settings. The standards provide guidelines for designing, implementing, assessing, and improving the identified form of evaluation. 34. Each of the standards has been placed in one of 4 fundamental categories to promote educational evaluations that are proper, useful, feasible, and accurate. In these sets of standards, validity and reliability considerations are covered under the accuracy topic. For example, the student accuracy standards help ensure that student evaluations will provide sound, accurate, and credible information about student learning and performance. Controversy and criticism. Edit. Because psychometrics is based on latent psychological processes measured through correlations, there has been controversy about some psychometric measures. 35. Page needed. Critics, including practitioners in the physical sciences, have argued that such definition and quantification is difficult, and that such measurements are often misused by laymen, such as with personality tests used in employment procedures. The Standards for Educational and Psychological Measurement gives the following statement on test validity. Validity refers to the degree to which evidence and theory support the interpretations of test scores entailed by proposed uses of tests. 36. Simply put, a test is not valid unless it is used and interpreted in the way it is intended. 37. 2 types of tools used to measure personality traits are objective tests and projective measures. Examples of such tests are the Big 5 Inventory, BFI, Minnesota Multiphasic Personality Inventory, MMPI-2, Rorschach Ink Blot Test, Neurotic Personality Questionnaire Con 2006, 38, or Isink Personality Questionnaire. Some of these tests are helpful because they have adequate reliability and validity, 2 factors that make tests consistent and accurate reflections of the underlying construct. The Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, MBTI, however, has questionable validity and has been the subject of much criticism. Psychometric specialist Robert Hogan wrote of the measure, "Most personality psychologists regard the MBTI as little more than an elaborate Chinese fortune cookie." 39. Lee Cronbach noted in American Psychologist, 1957, that correlational psychology, though fully as old as experimentation, was slower to mature. It qualifies equally as a discipline, however, because it asks a distinctive type of question and has technical methods of examining whether the question has been properly put and the data properly interpreted. He would go on to say, the correlation method, for its part, can study what man has not learned to control or can never hope to control. A true federation of the disciplines is required. Kept independent, they can give only wrong answers or no answers at all regarding certain important problems. 40. Non-human, animals and machines. Edit. Psychometrics addresses human abilities, attitudes, traits, and educational evolution. Notably, the study of behavior, mental processes, and abilities of non-human animals is usually addressed by comparative psychology, or with a continuum between non-human animals and the rest of animals by evolutionary psychology. Nonetheless, there are some advocates for a more gradual transition between the approach taken for humans and the approach taken for non-human animals. 41, 42, 43, 44. The evaluation of abilities, traits and learning evolution of machines has been mostly unrelated to the case of humans and non-human animals, with specific approaches in the area of artificial intelligence. A more integrated approach, under the name of universal psychometrics, has also been proposed. 45, 46. See also. Edit. Psychology Portal. Cattell-Horn-Carroll Theory. Classical Test Theory. Computational Psychometrics. Concept Inventory. Cronbach's Alpha. Data Mining. Educational Assessment. Educational Psychology. Factor Analysis. Item Response Theory. List of international databases on individual student achievement tests. List of psychometric software. List of schools for psychometrics. Operationalization. Quantitative psychology. Psychometric Society. Psychological testing. RASC model. Scale, social sciences. School counselor. School psychology. Standardized test. References. Edit. Glossary 1. The 22nd of July, 2017. Archived from the original on the 22nd of July, 2017. Retrieved the 28th of June, 2022. A.B. Tabachnik, B.G., Fidel, L.S. 2001. Using Multivariate Analysis. Boston, Allin and Bacon. ISBN 978-0-321-05677-1. Page needed. Kaplan, R.M., and Sacuzzo, D.P. 2010. Psychological Testing, Principles, Applications, and Issues. 8th ed. Belmont, C.A., Wadsworth, Cengage Learning. A.B.C. Kaplan, R.M., and Sacuzzo, D.P. 2010. Psychological Testing, Principles, Applications, and Issues, 8th ed. Belmont, C.A., Wadsworth, Cengage Learning. Nunnally, J., and Bastine, I.H. 1994. Psychometric Theory, 3rd ed. New York, McGraw-Hill. Leopold Sondy, 1960, Das Zwitbuch, Lehrbuch der experimentellen Triebdiagnostik. Huber, Bernung Stuttgart, 2nd edition. Chapter 27, from the Spanish translation, B. 2 Las Condiciones Estadísticas, p. 396. Quotation. El pensamiento psicológico específico, en las últimas décadas, fue suprimido y eliminado casi totalmente, siendo sustituido por un pensamiento estadístico. Precisamente aquí vemos el cáncer de la testología y testimania de hoy. Stevens, S.S. The 7th of June, 1946. On the Theory of Scales of Measurement. Science. 103, 2684 677 Bibcode 1946 SCI, 103677S. Do 10.1026/science.103.2684.677. PMID 177505112. S2 SID 46675599. Michel, Joel, August 1997. Quantitative Science and the Definition of Measurement in Psychology. British Journal of Psychology. 88, 3355383 do 10.102044-8,245.1997.tb02641.x. Rees, T.W. 1943. The application of the theory of physical measurement to the measurement of psychological magnitudes, with 3 experimental examples. Psychological Monographs, 55, 189. do 10.1037/H00613667. Psychometrics. AssessmentPsychology.com. Retrieved 28 June, 2022. Stern, Theodora. Favre, Maurizio, Hwylens, Timothy E. Rosenbaum, Gerald F. 2016. Massachusetts General Hospital Comprehensive Clinical Psychiatry, 2nd ed. London. p. 73. ISBN 978-0323295079. Retrieved 31 October 2021. Sitebook, CS1 maint, location missing publisher, link. Long, Jacqueline L., ed. 2022. The Gale Encyclopedia of Psychology. Volume 2, 4th ed. Farmington Hills, Michigan, Gale. p. 1000. ISBN 9780028683867. Andrick, D. and Luo, G. 1993. A hyperbolic cosine latent tray model for unfolding dichotomous single stimulus responses. Applied Psychological Measurement, 17, 253276. Embretson, S.E., and Rise, S.P. 2000. Item Response Theory for Psychologists. Mahua, N.J., Elbaum. Hambleton, R.K., and Swaminathan, H. 1985. Item Response Theory, Principles and Applications. Boston, Klawanijoff. Rask, G. 1960/1980. Probabilistic Models for Some Intelligence and Attainment Tests. Copenhagen, Danish Institute for Educational Research, Expanded Edition, 1980, with foreword and afterword by B.D. Wright. Chicago, The University of Chicago Press. Thompson, B.R. 2004. Exploratory and Confirmatory Factor Analysis, Understanding Concepts and Applications. American Psychological Association. Zwick, William R. Valissa, Wayne F. 1986. Comparison of 5 rules for determining the number of components to retain. Psychological Bulletin. 99, 3432442 do 10.1033-0033-2909.99.3.432. Singh, Manoj Kumar, the 11th of September 2021. Introduction to Social Psychology. KK. Publications. Davison, M.L. 1992. Multidimensional Scaling. Krieger. Kaplan, D. 2008. Structural Equation Modeling, Foundations and Extensions, 2nd ed. Sage. Damas, C. 2013. A tutorial on interpreting bifactor model scores. International Journal of Testing, 13, 354378. http://dx.1080/1080/153050.2013.7999067. Rise, SP. 2012. The Rediscovery of Bifactor Modeling. Multivariate Behavioral Research, 47, 667696. http://dx.1080/1080/00273171.2012.7155555. Rodriguez, A. Rise, SP, and Haviland, M.G. 2016. Evaluating Bifactor Models, Calculating and Interpreting Statistical Indices. Psychological Methods, 21, 137150. http://dx.org/1037/met0000045. Skonfeld, I.S., Verkeuilen, J. and Bianchi, R. 2019. An exploratory structural equation modeling bifactor analytic approach to uncovering what burnout, depression, and anxiety scales measure. Psychological Assessment, 31, 1073-1079. http://dx.org/1037/pars0000721p1075. ABC Home Educational Research Basics by Del Siegel. www.gifted.ucon.edu, the 17th of February 2015. Nunnally, J.C. 1978. Psychometric Theory, 2nd ed. New York, McGraw-Hill. Blanton, H., and Jacquard, J. 2006. Arbitrary Metrics in Psychology. Archived 10 May, 2006 at the Wayback Machine. American Psychologist, 61, 1, 2741. The Standards for Educational and Psychological Testing. APA.org. Joint Committee on Standards for Educational Evaluation. Archived from the original on 15 October 2009. Retrieved 28 June 2022. Joint Committee on Standards for Educational Evaluation. 1988. The Personnel Evaluation Standards, How to Assess Systems for Evaluating Educators. Archived 12 December 2005 at the Wayback Machine, Newbury Park, CA, Sage Publications. Joint Committee on Standards for Educational Evaluation. 1994. The Program Evaluation Standards, 2nd edition. Archived 22 February 2006 at the Wayback Machine, Newbury Park, CA, Sage Publications. Committee on Standards for Educational Evaluation. 2003. The Student Evaluation Standards, How to Improve Evaluations of Students. Archived 24 May 2006 at the Wayback Machine, Newbury Park, CA, Corwin Press. E. Cabrera Nguyen, 2010. Author Guidelines for Reporting Scale Development and Validation Results in the Journal of the Society for Social Work and Research. Academia.edu 1, 299-103. Tabachnik, B.G., Fidel, L.S. 2001. Using Multivariate Analysis. Boston, Allin and Bacon. ISBN 978-0-321-05677-1. American Educational Research Association, American Psychological Association, and National Council on Measurement in Education. 1999, Standards for Educational and Psychological Testing. Washington, D.C., American Educational Research Association. Bundelos, Deborah L. 2018. Measurement Theory and Applications for the Social Sciences. New York. p. 261. ISBN 978-1-4625-3215-5. OCLC 1015955756. Citebook, CS1 maint, location missing publisher, link. Alexandrovich J.W., Klasa K., Sobansky J.A., Staliska D., 2009. Con 2006 Neurotic Personality Questionnaire, PDF. Archives of Psychiatry and Psychotherapy. 1, 2122. Hogan, Robert, 2007. Personality and the Fate of Organizations. Mahua, N.J., Lawrence L. Baum Associates. p. 28. ISBN 978-0-8058-4142-8. OCLC 654000436. Kronbach, L.J. 1957. The Two Disciplines of Scientific Psychology. American Psychologist. 12, 11/10.1037/H0043943 via EBSCO. Humphreys, L.G. 1987. Psychometrics Considerations in the Evaluation of Intraspecies Differences in Intelligence. Brain SCI. 10, 4668669-10.1017/S0140525X0005514X. Tizunk, H.J. 1987. The Several Meanings of Intelligence. Brain SCI. 10, 4617-10.1017/S0140525X0005560. Locerto, C. and Scanlon, C. 1987. Individual Differences and Spatial Learning Factor in Two Strains of Mice. Brain SCI. 112, 344352. King, James E. and Figueiredo, Aurelio Jose, 1997. The Five-Factor Model plus Dominance in Chimpanzee Personality. Journal of Research in Personality. 31, 2257271-10.1006/JRPE.1997.2179. J. Hernandez Orelo, D.L. Dow, M.V. Hernandez Lauder, 2013. Universal Psychometrics, Measuring Cognitive Abilities in the Machine Kingdom, PDF. Cognitive Systems Research. 27, 5074. Do 10.1016/J.Coxis.2013.06.001. HDL 10251/50244. S2 SID 26440282. Carrot Hernandez Orelo, Jose, 2017. The Measure of All Minds, Evaluating Natural and Artificial Intelligence. Cambridge, Cambridge University Press. ISBN 978-1-107-15301-1. Bibliography. Edit. Andrick, D. and Luo, G. 1993. A hyperbolic cosine model for unfolding dichotomous single-stimulus responses, PDF. Applied Psychological Measurement. 17, 3253-276. Cite CX 10.1.1.1003.8107. Do 10.14662169301700300307. S2 SID 12074597-1. Michel, J. 1999. Measurement in Psychology. Cambridge, Cambridge University Press. Do 10.1017/CB09780511490040. Rask, G. 1960/1980. Probabilistic Models for Some Intelligence and Attainment Tests. Copenhagen, Danish Institute for Educational Research, Expanded Edition, 1980, with foreword and afterword by B.D. Wright. Chicago, The University of Chicago Press. Rees, T.W. 1943. The Application of the Theory of Physical Measurement to the Measurement of Psychological Magnitudes, with 3 experimental examples. Psychological Monographs, 55, 189. Do 10.1037/H00613667. Stevens, S.S. 1946. On the Theory of Scales of Measurement. Science. 103, 2684-67780. Bibcode 1946 SCI, 103677S. Do 10.1026/science.103.2684.677. PMID 1775051-2. Thurstone, L.L. 1927. A Law of Comparative Judgment. Psychological Review. 34, 4278286 to 10.1037/H00702888. Thurstone, L.L. 1929. The Measurement of Psychological Value. In TV. Smith and W.K. Wright, eds. Essays in Philosophy by 17 Doctors of Philosophy of the University of Chicago. Chicago, Open Court. Thurstone, L.L. 1959. The Measurement of Values. Chicago, The University of Chicago Press. SF. Blinkhorn, 1997. Past Imperfect, Future Conditional, 50 Years of Test Theory. British Journal of Mathematical and Statistical Psychology. 50, 2175185 to 10.1013.2044-8317.1997.TB01139.x. Sanford, David, the 18th of November, 2017. Cambridge just told me big data doesn't work yet. LinkedIn. Further reading. Edit. Robert F. DeVellis, 2016. Scale Development, Theory and Applications. Sage Publications. ISBN 978-1-5063-4158-3. Borsboom, Denny, 2005. Measuring the Mind, Conceptual Issues in Contemporary Psychometrics. Cambridge, Cambridge University Press. ISBN 978-0-521-84463-5. Leslie Miller, Robert L. Luffler, 2015. Foundations of Psychological Testing, A Practical Approach. Sage Publications. ISBN 978-1-4833-6927-3. Roderick P. MacDonald, 2013. Test Theory, A Unified Treatment. Psychology Press. ISBN 978-1-135-67530-1. Paul Klein, 2000. The Handbook of Psychological Testing. Psychology Press. ISBN 978-0-415-21158-1. Rush Jr., 1st MB, Blacker D., 2008. Handbook of Psychiatric Measures. American Psychiatric Publishing. ISBN 978-1-58562-218-4. OCLC 85885343. Anne C. Silverlack, 2016. Comprehending Test Manuals, A Guide and Workbook. Taylor and Francis. ISBN 978-1-351-97086-0. External links. Edit. Wikiversity has learning resources about psychometrics. Look up psychometrics in Wiktionary, the free dictionary. APA Standards for Educational and Psychological Testing. International Personality Item Pool. Joint Committee on Standards for Educational Evaluation. The Psychometrics Center, University of Cambridge. Psychometric Society and Psychometrica homepage. London Psychometric Laboratory. Library resources about psychometrics. Resources in your library. V. T. E. Human Intelligence Topics. Types. Collective. Emotional. Intellectual. Linguistic. Multiple. Social. Spatial, visuospatial. Abilities, traits. And constructs. Cognition. Cognitive liberty. Communication. Creativity. Fluid and crystallized intelligence. G-factor. Intellect. Intelligence quotient. Knowledge. Learning. Memory. Problem solving. Reasoning. Skill. Thought, abstraction. Understanding. Visual processing. Models and theories. Cattell-Horn-Carroll theory. Fluid and crystallized intelligence. Multiple intelligences theory. Pass theory. Three-stratum theory. Triarchic theory. Areas of research. Evolution of human intelligence. Heritability of IQ. Psychometrics. Intelligence and environment /fertility /height /health /longevity /neuroscience /personality /race /sex. Outline of human intelligence /thought. V. T. E. Psychology. History. Philosophy. Portal. Psychologist. Basic. Psychology. Abnormal. Affective neuroscience. Affective science. Behavioral genetics. Behavioral neuroscience. Behaviorism. Cognitive/cognitivism. Cognitive neuroscience. Social. Comparative. Cross-cultural. Cultural. Developmental. Differential. Ecological. Evolutionary. Experimental. Gestalt. Intelligence. Mathematical. Moral. Neuropsychology. Perception. Personality. Psycholinguistics. Psychophysiology. Quantitative. Social. Theoretical. Applied. Psychology. Anomalistic. Applied behavior analysis. Assessment. Clinical. Coaching. Community. Consumer. Counseling. Critical. Educational. Ergonomics. Feminist. Forensic. Health. Humanistic. Industrial and organizational. Legal. Media. Medical. Military. Music. Occupational health. Pastoral. Political. Positive. Psychometrics. Psychotherapy. Religion. School. Sport and exercise. Suicidology. Systems. Traffic. Methodologies. Animal testing. Archival research. Behavior epigenetics. Case study. Content analysis. Experiments. Human subject research. Interviews. Neuroimaging. Observation. Psychophysics. Qualitative research. Quantitative research. Self-report inventory. Statistical surveys. Concepts. Behavior. Behavioral engineering. Behavioral genetics. Behavioral neuroscience. Cognition. Competence. Consciousness. Consumer behavior. Emotions. Feelings. Human factors and ergonomics. Intelligence. Mind. Psychology of religion. Psychometrics. Terror management theory. Psychologists. Wilhelm Wundt. William James. Ivan Pavlov. Sigmund Freud. Edward Thorndike. Carl Jung. John B. Watson. Clark L. Hull. Kurt Lewin. Jean Piaget. Gordon Allport. J. P. Guilford. Carl Rogers. Eric Erikson. B. F. Skinner. Donald O. Hebb. Ernest Hilgard. Harry Harlow. Raymond Cattell. Abraham Maslow. Neil E. Miller. Jerome Bruner. Donald T. Campbell. Hans Isunk. Herbert A. Simon. David McClelland. Leon Festinger. Georgia Miller. Richard Lazarus. Stanley Scudder. Robert Zajanc. Albert Bandura. Roger Brown. Endel Tulving. Lawrence Kohlberg. Noam Chomsky. Ulrich Nieser. Jerome Kagan. Walter Mischel. Elliot Aronson. Daniel Kahneman. Paul Ekman. Michael Posner. Amos Tversky. Bruce McEwen. Larry Squire. Richard E. Nisbet. Martin Seligman. Ed D. Enner. Shelley E. Taylor. John Anderson. Ronald C. Kessler. Joseph E. Ladous. Richard Davidson, Susan Fiske, Roy Baumeister. Lists. Counseling topics. Disciplines. Organizations. Outline. Psychologists. Psychotherapies. Research methods. Schools of thought. Timeline. Topics. Wiktionary definition. Wiktionary category. Wikisource. Wikimedia Commons. Wikiquote. Wiki News. Wikibooks. V. T. E. Statistics. Outline. Index. Descriptive statistics. Continuous data. Center. Mean. Arithmetic. Arithmetic geometric. Contraharmonic. Cubic. Generalized /power. Geometric. Harmonic. Heronian. Hines. Lemma. Median. Mode. Dispersion. Average absolute deviation. Coefficient of variation. Interquartile range. Percentile. Range. Standard deviation. Variance. Shape. Central limit theorem. Moments. Kurtosis. L moments. Skewness. Count data. Index of dispersion. Summary tables. Contingency table. Frequency distribution. Grouped data. Dependence. Partial correlation. Pearson product moment correlation. Rank correlation. Kendall's toe. Spearman's row. Scatter plot. Graphics. Bar chart. Biplot. Box plot. Control chart. Correlogram. Fan chart. Forest plot. Histogram. Pie chart. QQ plot. Radar chart. Run chart. Scatter plot. Stem and leaf display. Violin plot. Data collection. Study design. Effect size. Missing data. Optimal design. Population. Replication. Sample size determination. Statistic. Statistical power. Survey methodology. Sampling. Cluster. Stratified. Opinion poll. Questionnaire. Standard error. Controlled experiments. Blocking. Factorial experiment. Interaction. Random assignment. Randomized controlled trial. Randomized experiment. Scientific control. Adaptive designs. Adaptive clinical trial. Stochastic approximation. Up and down designs. Observational studies. Cohort study. Cross-sectional study. Natural experiment. Quasi-experiment. Statistical inference. Statistical theory. Population. Statistic. Probability distribution. Sampling distribution. Order statistic. Empirical distribution. Density estimation. Statistical model. Model specification. LP space. Parameter. Location. Scale. Shape. Parametric family. Likelihood, monotone. Location scale family. Exponential family. Completeness. Sufficiency. Statistical functional. Bootstrap. U. V. Optimal decision. Loss function. Efficiency. statistical distance, divergence, asymptotics, robustness, frequentist inference, point estimation, estimating equations, maximum likelihood, method of moments, M-estimator, minimum distance, unbiased estimators, mean unbiased minimum variance, Rao-Blackwellization, Learman-Skiff theorem, median unbiased, plug-in, interval estimation, confidence interval, pivot, likelihood interval, prediction interval, tolerance interval, resampling, bootstrap, jackknife, testing hypotheses, one and two tails, power, uniformly most powerful test, permutation test, randomization test, multiple comparisons, parametric tests, likelihood ratio, score/Lagrange multiplier, world, specific tests, Z-test, normal, student's t-test, F-test, goodness of fit, chi-squared, G-test, Komogrove-Smirnov, Anderson-Darling, Lilliefers, Jarkbira, normality, Shapiro-Wilk, likelihood ratio test, model selection, cross-validation, AIC, BIC, rank statistics, sign, sample median, signed rank, Wilcoxon, Hodges-Learman estimator, rank sum, Mann-Whitney, non-parametric ANOVA, one-way, Kruskal-Wallis, two-way, Friedman, ordered alternative, Jonckheer-Terpstra, van der Waerden test, Bayesian inference, Bayesian probability, prior, posterior, credible interval, Bayes factor, Bayesian estimator, maximum posterior estimator, correlation, regression analysis, correlation, Pearson product moment, partial correlation, confounding variable, coefficient of determination, regression analysis, errors and residuals, regression validation, mixed effects models, simultaneous equations models, multivariate adaptive regression splins, MARS, linear regression, simple linear regression, ordinary least squares, general linear model, Bayesian regression, non-standard predictors, nonlinear regression, non-parametric, semiparametric, isotonic, robust, heteroscedasticity, homoscedasticity, generalized linear model, exponential families, logistic, Bernoulli, /binomial /Poisson regressions, partition of variance, analysis of variance, ANOVA, analysis of covariance, multivariate ANOVA, degrees of freedom, categorical /multivariate /time series /survival analysis, categorical, Cohen's kappa, contingency table, graphical model, loglinear model, McNemar's test, Cochrane-Mantel-Haensel statistics, multivariate, regression, MANOVA, principal components, canonical correlation, discriminant analysis, cluster analysis, classification, structural equation model, factor analysis, multivariate distributions, elliptical distributions, normal, time series, general, decomposition, trend, stationarity, seasonal adjustment, exponential smoothing, cointegration, structural break, Granger causality, specific tests, Dickey-Fuller, Johansen, Q-statistic, Ljung box, Durbin-Watson, Brioche-Godfrey, time domain, autocorrelation, ACF, partial, PACF, cross-correlation, XCF, ARMA model, ARIMA model, Box-Jenkins, autoregressive conditional heteroscedasticity, ARCH, vector autoregression, VA, frequency domain, spectral density estimation, Fourier analysis, least squares spectral analysis, wavelet, Whittle likelihood, survival, survival function, Kaplan-Meier estimator, product limit, proportional hazards models, accelerated failure time, AFT, model, first hitting time, hazard function, Nelson-Ullin estimator, test, log-rank test, applications, biostatistics, bioinformatics, clinical trials / studies, epidemiology, medical statistics, engineering statistics, chemometrics, methods engineering, probabilistic design, process / quality control, reliability, system identification, social statistics, actuarial science, census, crime statistics, demography, econometrics, geometrics, national accounts, official statistics, population statistics, psychometrics, spatial statistics, cartography, environmental statistics, geographic information system, geostatistics, Kriging, category, mathematics portal, commons, Wikiproject, retrieved from https://en.wikipedia.org/w/index.php title == psychometrics olded == 12517822229 Categories: Psychometrics, Applied Psychology, Educational Research, Psychological Testing, Metrics, Educational Assessment and Evaluation. Hidden Categories. Wikipedia articles needing page number citations from November 2010. CS1 maint, location missing publisher. Web archive template wayback links. Articles with short description. Short description is different from Wikidata. Articles with excerpts. All articles with unsourced statements. Articles with unsourced statements from March 2015. This page was last edited on the 18th of October 2024 at 1:34 UTC. Text is available under the Creative Commons Attribution Share Alike 4.0 license. Additional terms may apply. By using this site, you agree to the terms of use and privacy policy. Wikipedia registered trademark symbol is a registered trademark of the Wikimedia Foundation, Inc., a non-profit organization. Privacy policy. About Wikipedia. Disclaimers. Contact Wikipedia. Code of conduct. Developers. Statistics. Cookie statement. Mobile view.